Okay, so very bullish. Um, had this 1 hour marked out from last night that I wanted to see if we respect or disrespect. Strong wicks out of it. And we're starting to disrespect all this. So it looks like we want to come up to these equal highs over here. We have a 4 hour BPR that I'm also looking at. Then we have this low inside of it, inside of an hourly. So that's why I marked that out with money sign because we come into this, we get a nice inverse, then I think we come up to this buy side. And I might actually hold it just because it's such a clean draw. We also got the view up here. We got midnight open down here. I don't think we come down to midnight open, but I think we come. Maybe we come. I don't know. I don't think so. So that it is 270 points. I guess we're like coming down all the way down here, but also a big overnight move. 400 points overnight. So be wary of that. Um, yeah, but definitely very bullish. I don't want to see any shorts. I was looking for a data lift since we had news at 8:15. I wanted to maybe, oh shit, I wanted to see maybe like a trade to the data lift, but this is too close. And honestly, it's not even like really a data lift. It did nothing. So that would have been ideal, but none of that. Um, yeah, I don't think I'd really take any shorts unless it's like RTH gap or something like that. But that would be the only reason I'd short, unless it's just really if we manipulate up here first and then want to come down here or here. But I don't think I'm maybe taking any shorts. Probably just longs if I take anything today.
Edge me?
Let's see. Mm, good closure. Very nice. Maybe I have an enter here. Go break even. That is high. I won't go break even though I feel like it's a here. It's because I have some strong conviction. Do it past here if this is in. At 950 is coming up. Should spring us up. 950 macro. Also still not scared. So I want to see like real quick my stop loss and then turn up, but it should just come up right now. The last form of manipulation. Let's see, wick up here. Alright. It shouldn't come back to here. Honestly, could drag stop. Just gonna save a little bit more bed. I mean, realistically, I can drag it to that low, but price action wants to be a little bit weirder. But yeah, W. Again, I'm not going to go break even off of this high, but I will drag it to here. Maybe I'll drag it to like this, so you have a supporter block or something. Just get such strong conviction of the shade. You should not be swept at all whatsoever inside of this gap here. Expecting speed. This could come down to around this range, but wouldn't want to see it go any further. Such a W. Even if this inverse, I don't even care. I think it's just going to be higher resistance equation if that happens. I'd rather not see it inverse, obviously, but I don't think it's a big issue. You get stopped out and it comes here and it does that, I wouldn't even be upset because price shouldn't come down to this realistically if we're going to be right here. But I do think this one's going to be a lane trade, which not be a straw. Oh my god, it's gonna be another fucking shot fest. Take profits, dude. So ugly. Okay, man. Oh, I forgot we have news at 10. Oh, fuck. TMI, dude. This wicks me out. Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. I'm not making my stop. I'm not moving my stop, dude. That would just be so unfortunate. Realistically, should just fucking bring us up. We're gonna be right. If not, that'd be a good learning lesson. That'd be. There we go. Alright, stop. Maybe I'll take a con off here. Just for, honestly, just for psych purposes here, just because it's so volatile. was like an asset sweep protecting these lows, but with nothing sweeping, we got fucking trend line liquidity here now. Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna break here, take a shower. I lose.
Edge me?
Yo, trade recap from today. This is gonna be my best recap, not just because of such a nice win we took here, but out of pure information. So let me bring this back to 9:30. So coming into the day, I explained that I was extremely bullish just because the higher time frame we're disrespecting bearish PDAs and respecting bullish PDAs. We had that external S&T high time frame that we were starting to react off of, and overnight session we were just fucking pumping. Asia dumped, and then London swept out Asia lows and reversed. So I was expecting a New York session to continue out the reversal, and that's exactly what played out. But coming into the session overnight, I marked out this 1 hour for value gap right here to see if we respect it or not. We respect this. And I think during New York, I marked out this 4 hour that we ended up closing right at CE, right above it. So not great respection off of it. I honestly like that for bullish bias, because if this were to like tap CE or like barely tap into this and then close all the way down here, then I really wouldn't have liked that. Maybe we would have chopped for today, but we had a nice long wick and we closed here. 10 a.m. Or we're not even gonna get into that yet, but let's go into that was bias. Let's go into what I saw during the session. So, all right, let's bring this to 9:30. So I did end up taking one loss this session and then one break even. Um, and this was because of my bullish bias. We manipulated these lows, tapped into, the barely even tapped into this regular trading hours gap, and we tapped into obviously a higher time frame PDRA for value gap. You can choose whatever one. I mean, obviously there's going to be a gap there, um, and we closed above these highs. I wanted to see a honestly, this wasn't a great trade. If I'm going to be completely honest, it wasn't a bad trade, but it wasn't a great trade because we didn't have much of a manipulation off open and we just closed above these highs. So I marked out this 3 minute inversion and I wanted to see a little bit of a retrace and then like a reaction to continue for longs. So when we ended up closing, we did close on this candle. Um, yeah, we ended up closing here, and then I just played a 1 minute candle. But once we got this reaction, I entered off here, and my stop loss was, I believe, maybe down here. And I wanted to see, um, I think I was just going to go for 1 to 2. because this was my external draw. These equal highs over here, such a clear draw. But honestly, I didn't know if we'd get it off that. I didn't want to look for too much just because there wasn't much of a manipulation. So I just went for the edge of this new week opening gap here, for like a 1 to 2 ish, and this ended up just hitting my stop loss. And I only did one contract because of like just such an ugly trade. So honestly, this was a bad trade. This wasn't a good trade. This ended up going straight to stop loss after being in profits for a little bit. And I noticed, well, and then this is my break even trade, just kind of like a bread and butter. I wanted to see the regular trading hours, see get tapped, and I noticed that ES was completely flushing and the Nasdaq was lagging. So I was like, okay, that really enforces my bullish bias. And after we inverse this 1 minute, after we inverse this 1 minute, I was like, okay, I'll just take this and I'll go break even right at these lows here. Right at these lows, I go break even, and I entered here, stop loss, like here. I think I entered one con again, just because it's like an ugly looking trade, or just a 1 to 1, and we ended up getting break even. Which I was like, all right, I don't even care if this was gonna hit. I just wanted to just flush straight through our TH gap. But then since NQ was lagging really hard to ES, and I had this on my monitor, we retraced and we were reacting off uh, the 50% and 62 0.62 on the Fibonacci, and we were reacting hard off it. The hourly was looking good, like everything was looking good. We this was like my ideal setup here. I wanted these lows, but like obviously that's a lot of movement down here, and ES was so far down. So I was like, okay, is there anything that looks clean on the 1 minute? So I didn't see anything that looks clean. Let me bring it on here because it's so much cleaner. I keep this on my monitor just because there's so much going on. I have all the new week opening gaps and like high time frame PD rays on here, but I keep this where I trade on clean. So let's go. Here, let me take this off. There was nothing clean on the 1 minute, but 30-second was a beautiful gap that was being respected. And I honestly like when the gaps, not more than just like a nice fucking gap, but like when I see that price is respecting this gap and then it just disrespects it with momentum, I I think those work all the time, at least in my back testing. So I took it right around here. Might have took it even like here. I think I didn't wait for that full closure because I knew it was just going to close. I was really confident in the draw, and I took my tool and I put it here. And yep, put it exactly it. I took it on this off this closure, and in the recording, I have my live reaction of what was going through my head during this, but I might not put it all in because it's so long. I ended up taking a shower during the trade because I was so confident in it and I didn't want to move my stop loss or anything. So I took a fucking shower and I came back and literally the second I came back into the room, it banged TP. But let's see where we're at in this. It was a high resistance liquidity run that I kind of identified. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to really fuck with my stop loss. But we ended up coming here at 950 macro into this 1 minute gap. And right when we were down here, my stop loss was literally right here. And I was like, I'm still confident in this trade. Even though we're all the way down here, I still think this is going to bang out. I think it's going to respect this. And boom, that's exactly what happened. And after that, I moved my stop loss once we were above like right here. I said I was going to move my stop loss to here when we take out these highs, but there's no need because if we're going to go all the way up here, we're not going to come back down to this. This is a protected low. This is a short term low inside of this, or an intermediate term low inside of this gap here. And I was like, all right, this, I'm fine if it comes and stops me out here because it should not come to this area. A lot of people like to go break even when something like this is taken out, but I kind of like to go where price action shouldn't return to instead of just randomly putting my break even just because if your fill is so bad, like it doesn't make sense. This price will just come back to here. So if I went break even, I would have got stopped out right here if I went break even here. So it's kind of nice when to identify high resistance liquidity runs just because we had such a large overnight move. I didn't think it was just going to be straight low resistance, which ended up playing out into my favor. 10 a.m. news really kind of jolted us up. It either could have hit a stop loss, but if price action wanted to be bullish, news should be in our favor, which it was. To got these highs, I ended up taking one contract off here just for psychology reasons because it was so volatile. I just took one con off here only because I had three. If I was only in two contracts, I wouldn't have taken anything off, but I was in three, so I was like, all right, I'm fine taking this off here and making a little bit less spread for the psych. And I kept my stop loss here. Maybe when we got up to here, I dragged it to this data low, but ended up just banging out to my drawn liquidity, which were these equal highs, triple equal highs. Such an obvious draw. Usually, I take my trade off exactly at 1 to 2 mechanically, but when I have such a clear draw, I'm fine holding longer for higher RR because I mean that's what I think you should do. So not all your trades, it just helps. If you have a clear draw, at least take a higher RR trade. But yeah, um, I think that's it for the recap. We're looking good here in our week. We're up 700 in the week. Not bad. Um, see what we got news tomorrow. Awesome. Unemployment claims, beautiful. I love that. Really great trade, and I'm gonna have this uploaded soon. So yeah, that's it for the trade recap today.